Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Kevin Parrington Turner, aka Sir South, aka the Brown Bostonian. Please check the Substack. Posted one today. Check it out. Writing dope stories about my journey as a sports writer, along with having shorts and all that, shorts videos that you can check out on YouTube, check out on TikTok. I also write my personal stories, you know what I mean? But off that, listen, last night, I don't got cable. I don't think anyone does. I walked down to the bar downtown. It's a little 10-minute walk. It's cool. Um, it was like a meet and greet, right? But obviously they got the game on. So I'm not talking to nobody because it's game 7. Um, and as the game's going by, it was looking dark. The Sixers went up double figures, especially in the second half. But the Celtics fought back. They got it to one possession. Jalen Brown was doing as best as he could. Payne Pritchard did the best as he could. You know, both couldn't win. We couldn't do it. We couldn't get it done. And I'm not gonna lie. Before the game, Jason Tatum didn't play. He had knee stiffness uh going into game 7. Game 6, it kind of looked like he was already dealing with something when during timeouts he was walking back and forth, stretching his knee, all that stuff. And it just wasn't gonna work out. I mean, listen, to start the season with Jason Tatum dealing with Achilles rupture, and as someone who also had an Achilles rupture, now I don't have the best doctors and medical staff as an NBA player. Like you injure that, you get surgery the next day. That's how on point they are. You feel me? But he came back in 300 days or so. I think it was like 299, 300 days. But before that, I already thought. I think I came on here and said, "Yo, I think the Celtics make it to the first round of the playoffs. They get knocked out. If they make it to the second round, it's a over accomplishment as a team. No Drew Holiday, no Porzingis. First, second round, maybe. It's time for Jalen Brown to shine." And he kind of did during the regular season. Jalen Brown was an MVP candidate for the most part of the season. Kind of veered off when Jason Tatum came back. We traded Anthony Simons to for Vucevic, who didn't play in Game 7, who sat out. But I'm gonna get to that. Jason Tatum came back. Payne Pritchard's playing well off the bench. He accepts his role off the bench after a couple of years of him not wanting more time, thinking about possibly getting a trade. But then he accepts times off the bench and he does really well. Had a really good season. I don't even think he stays, but we'll get to that. But when Jason Tatum comes back late in the season, I'm sitting here thinking, "Oh, we back in the championship race. We back in the championship talks for sure." You feel me? So you know, come to playoffs, the Celtics take a 3-1 lead. And I was at game 4 in Philly. My friend, shout out to Miles, my boy from high school. He lived in Philly with his girl. Um, he hit me saying, "Yo, you want to come to game 4? Drive down to Philly. We get some tickets. You can just go." I said, "All right, bet." Celtics blow them out. And Celtics take a 3-1 lead. It looks over. It looks done. I'm saying, "Yo, Joel Embiid needs to leave Philly." I still can't believe that, to be honest with you. But I didn't imagine what transpired. You lose 3 in a row. Now it was obvious Jason Tatum wasn't 100% at any point this season. He says it. He said it. He damn near says it after every game. He's not 100%, and that's no surprise. But I expect a little bit more from Jalen Brown. I'm gonna be honest. Game 7, he did really well. He scored 33 points, 40 minutes, 9 rebounds. But I just need to see a little bit more from him. More of an offensive bag, better left hand, better mid-range shots. He was settling too much. Joel Embiid was just sitting in the middle of the paint. And Jalen Brown just kind of looked stagnant, especially in the second half. He was missing shots off the rim. He was missing free throws. Game 6, he was missing free. There was a couple of times he missed 2 free throws in a row. I don't know what's up with a Finals MVP. He's a Finals MVP, and he was missing free throws, missing jump shots, settling for mid range. If Maxey was on him, when Paul George was on him, he couldn't do anything. Oh my goodness, Paul George was on him, he couldn't do anything. Mind you, this ain't Paul George from 2014. I don't know. This is Paul George's 2026 after being suspended for whatever he got suspended for, and you still couldn't get by him. Even if you got by him, once Embiid was in the middle of the paint, there was nothing he could do. But with no Jason Tatum in Game 7, you want to see more, bro. I want to see him be a star, the MVP that he said he was, and it was always questioned. Well, listen, I think we got our answer this year. The two need to be together in order to win championships, in order to be at that MVP type caliber. Simple as that. Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum, they need each other. They separate, they get traded to other teams. They're gonna be all stars on first round, second round type of teams that get knocked out early in the playoffs. That's just where their career is. Still great players. They still won a championship for the Boston Celtics. As a fan, I'm cool. I've seen the Celtics win with Paul Pierce, Rondo, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, Big Three, and I've seen the Celtics win against the Mavericks. Man, I've seen two championships. I can't ask for more. But forget all that. I'm also kind of pissed Vucevic didn't play. Now, Kata, he can't guard Joel Embiid. I get it. He's the most athletic. And since we don't have Porzingis now, a guy who can shoot the ball and is a rim protector because he's just so tall. He's not strong or anything. But he can get some stops. He can get some rebounds. Philly was just very aggressive with the Celtics. Super aggressive. They was pushing, they was boxing, now grabbing, pulling. I do think the refs let them play a little bit more than they let the Celtics play. I do think Embiid, he fell, he flopped a little bit, like Jalen Brown did say. He wasn't lying. He wasn't BSing. I do think that. Um, and they was grabbing a lot. It was being really physical in the last three games. They 100% were. Game four, they wasn't physical at all. After that, they was just grabbing, pulling, pushing, pushing them off the screens, fighting on the post, making them fight for everything. And hats off to the Sixers. They did great. They did great. They did great. Um, but for Vucevic not to play, Kata can't shoot threes. So here's what's happening for the Celtics on offense. Since Kata can't shoot threes, you're having Kata around the mid-range paint, right? And he doesn't have a good mid-range game. He doesn't have a mid-range game. He's a rim protector. He's a guy who catch alley oops. Cool. Now if you playing a former MVP center, it's just a terrible matchup. It's a matchup nightmare. Now you put Luka Garza in there, matchup nightmare too. I'm not saying you put Vucevic, matchup nightmare too. But at least offensively, having Vucevic at the 3 point line as a threat pulls Embiid out the paint. Because too many times Jalen Brown was getting to the paint and Embiid was sitting right there. Payne Pritchard got to the paint and Embiid was sitting right there. Even Tatum, he drove and Embiid was sitting right there. Now we got to put Jordan Walsh in. Shout out to Jordan Walsh. He earned his time, and I'm happy to see a guy from the draft still, you know, stay with the Celtics. Because I remember the dude from Alabama didn't. He was in and out the G League. I think he's somewhere else now. So, shout out to Jordan Wall, shout out to Ron Harper Jr. too. But our bench just wasn't good besides Payne Pritchard. And Derek White had a bad series up until the last game, game 7. And I truly just think it was because he had more shots. Now, he did make some good defensive plays throughout this series, but we need to see more of him. He played 45 minutes, dropped 26. Cool, great. But we need a 30 point. We need 35 points at this point for Derek White, especially with no Drew Holiday and no Porzingis. You're the starter, and for some reason, you're the point guard. As far as Sam Hauser, he's just a guy that should just be coming off the bench and providing like a good 15, 20 minutes shooting. And some nights he can catch fire. That's really what he should be. He shouldn't be anything more. Um, but there you have it. The Celtics just didn't have depth. And that's what you get after a championship team. Guys leave and guys want more money. The stars want more money. So it's harder to keep a team together and win another championship. And this is just the signal of that. The OKC Thunder, they're all young. So that's what makes them kind of a anomaly. Same thing with the Warriors when they was winning championships. Celtics is different. Now, I don't know if they can get back. I think they can. But nonetheless, the Celtics blow a 3-1 lead, lose 109-100 to the Sixers in Game 7. Jason Tatum did not play due to knee stiffness. Vucevic did not play. He was there. He just did not play. Coach's decision, I'm assuming. And the season's over. Kind of back to my original prediction of the season. Yeah, what you gonna do? Now, before I move on, I love. Although obviously I would hope the Celtics moved on, but to be honest, after seeing them this series, I was like, they're not winning the championship. We just don't got enough. We need a center. We gotta get rid of Vucevic, but we need a center. We need a center. It's not even a question. A good one. We need some more depth. We need an actual point guard. That's what we need this offseason. We need an actual point guard. Derek White is not an actual point guard. Payne Pritchard, he's only really a point guard just because his size. But he's a good shooter. He's a shooter. He's not really a fantastic facilitator. He's not. He can get a bucket. But he comes off the bench, and I love that for him. I need him to come off the bench. I need Sam Hauser to come off the bench, and we need a good point guard. We need a good center that can also shoot the ball. It doesn't need to be crazy, but for the Celtics style of play where we shoot a lot of threes, we need a guy who can shoot threes and defend pretty well. At least be a rim protector, or you're going to be a big body. One of the two. I don't care. But you also got to hit some threes. So when we play it, Joel Embiid, he has to pull out to the 3-point perimeter, which leaves the paint open. That's what we need this offseason. We need Sam Hauser to come off the bench too. As far as the Jordan Walsh, Ron Harper's, Luka Garza's, other guys, I mean, I don't really care. You can get rid of them. You can pick them up. I don't care. As far but same thing with the Anthony signing. We don't need another guy who can also like really get a bucket. We got that in Jaylen Brown. We got that in Jason Tatum. We got that in Pritchard. We got that in Derek White. Now, I don't think we keep Pritchard. That's just why I think he matches Celtics so well, just down to so many different reasons. I don't know if we keep Pritchard. I don't know if we keep Derek White. But if we do, we need a point. And it doesn't have to. It could just be a veteran point guard that makes great decisions. I can't think one off the top of my head right now. If I do, I'm gonna let y'all know. But we need a point guard. We need a center. That way, Sam Hauser and Payne Pritchard can come off the bench. That'll make everything so easier. Where Sam Hauser only has to work on shooting threes and playing good defense. Payne Pritchard can be a bucket, and we can get a Luka Garza to come off the bench if he gets better. If Vucevic stays, he comes off the bench. I like him off the bench. I don't like him as a starter. Because what are you going to do if he plays Embiid again? If he plays Cat again? He's not doing nothing with them. Come on now. Now, as much as I hate to say it, I do like the Sixers-Knicks matchup, though. I do like it. I love this series. Cat versus Joel Embiid. Embiid is a former MVP that can shoot it. Out muscle you, hit the mid range, drive to the basket. Cat could do it all too. He's a better shooter, but I don't know if he's as strong in the paint. I don't know if he's as gifted in the paint. I like that matchup so much. I like Tyrese Maxey and Jalen Brunson very much, and all the other guys mixed in with Paul George. I love this matchup. Philly and New York, they're right next to each other. This is a great series. Because now the East feels wide open. To be honest, the East feels so wide open. It already kind of was. We all kind of, a lot of us thought Celtics with Jason Tatum coming back, but now seeing that he wasn't 100%, the East is open. I love it. I don't. If I had to give prediction, I think Knicks take it, but they just find a way for things to go sour. They just do. But I think Knicks should take it in 6. But if either the Knicks or the Sixers go to the championship, that is going to be a story for ages, man. We got to see the Sixers or the Knicks, even though I'm not a Knicks fan. But to see the Sixers or the Knicks in the championship, that's just great for sports because it's been so long. It's been so long for the NBA. And those are like two, historically important, impactful franchises. But yeah, man, listen, Celtics season's over. Back to the drawing board. Hopefully, Jason Tatum could be 100%, and I think he's going to come back better than ever, to be honest. I think he's going to be an MVP runner. I think so. That's my prediction right now. It's stamped. And we gotta, I don't really care about developing, no, guys. I don't really care about developing the bench. I just want to get piece together some players that can shoot and defend, and we can handle all types of matchups. There's not another Porzingis out there, and Porzingis didn't play games either. He just came back at the right time during the championship run. But We'll see what happens with the Celtics. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. Hope y'all have a great weekend. I wasn't talking to no one in that bar during the final minutes. Pissed. People hitting me up now, tagging me online, texting me, talking about the Philly, Sixers, especially living in Jersey. It's rough. It's rough for the Celtics fans, man. But all good for sports. I love it. I love it. I appreciate y'all. Please check out the Substack. I wrote it. It's in the description. The link is. Please read it. Please subscribe. Please like it. It would mean so much to me as I tell my stories, my perspective as a sports writer on the day-to-day basis while I do these podcasts, do these videos, do these YouTube shorts, these TikToks for y'all, the podcast. I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate y'all very much. I've been consistent the whole year. Rock with me. Until next time, my name is Kevin Parrington Turner, aka the Brown Bostonian. Enjoy y'all week. Peace.